Hello, Stronger Together. Give me just a moment to make sure this is going where it needs to be. Short technical difficulties going on in here. To make sure that it is working. When you guys jump in, say hello. Let me know that you can see and hear me. Just want to make sure that the chat is working as well. I see one of you in here. Stavness is in the house. All right, I think the chat is going, so let me know where you guys are watching from. How are we doing tonight? The November energy was a bit spicy, so going into December, we're still going to see some of that, with a big emphasis still on relationships moving into that. End of December, we do have Mercury retrograde coming back, so everybody can kind of get ready for that, because that will be on its way in as well. Brenda is joining us from her couch. Nice. All right, so let's talk about first the crystals, but this is your chance to ask me anything metaphysical about me. I may or may not answer those, but you can ask any questions that you have or that you've been thinking about, or want to know more. If you want to know more about Stronger Together or what I do, feel free to drop that in the chat. So first, the crystals that I would recommend for the December energies, first coming up is Covalite. You're going to kind of see a theme here, but I'm going to go through them before I start really talking about them. We have Peacock Ore. And then finally, Euphorolite. So with those three, you're kind of going to notice that theme, right, of the blue. This is a time where we get to have a lot of that throat chakra activations, really come into that space where we're speaking our own truth. But also, all three of these, the Euphorolite, the Peacock Ore, and the Covalite, are really going to come into a space of your internal dialogue. How you're talking to yourself, what you are saying, all of that. I mean, those are the things that you're going to have to really tap into this month. We're going to be called to become internal and get into that space of what are we telling ourselves and how is that really changing within our physical, tangible world as well. First question, are those eyebrows real? They are. They're the best. No wiping off. See, they are real. The stones that I went through, first we have Peacock Ore. So this is the first one. Next one is Euphorolite. Where's my camera? There we are. Euphorolite. And then the last one is Covalite. Shannon, welcome. This is the Ask Me Anything, so if you guys have questions, drop it in here, including things like, are those eyebrows real? They are, and I think I made them crazier now. So any of those questions that you have, drop them in. I also have a short chakra exercise for us to do tonight as well, where we're going to just tap into the cognitive. So I want you guys to cognitively and consciously check in with your chakras through this practice, and then also marry together in the feeling behind them, more of the intuitive stance. Covalite. Let me drop it in here. There you go. Covalite, Brenda. No COVID light. That'll probably get me banned for saying the C word on here. But no, Covalite. That is what that last one is. So first, with you guys who are on here, how often do you kind of assess the chakras, or how comfortable are you with that chakra system? I know a lot of people who are in here working, especially in the group with us in the coaching calls, are very familiar with the chakras and how they work. How often do you guys check in with them, though? I see Janessa's in the house. Welcome. What do you guys know about the chakra system? Once a month? Nice. Do you go through each one, Brenda? Or can you just kind of check in and feel the space within your body that's got some stuff going on? As we move into this is a new practice that I've been working with for a while. I've done it with a couple of individual clients and had really great results with it. So now that I feel like we've tried and tested, I want to share it here with you guys. So it's really that conscious tapping into what the chakras are doing and also what's kind of the internal dialogue going in. Brenda, I still go through each one individually as well, just to check in and see where they are. I think that's really probably the best place to start, especially when you're deciding if the chakras are over or underactive, because typically you're never going to find that they're all the same. So, and by all the same, I mean all overactive or all underactive. There's usually a mix if there's an imbalance. Janessa, several times a week. My goal is to make it daily energy hygiene practice. Yes. And any of you guys who are doing the light column activation, you are technically checking in, cleansing, rebalancing those individual chakra systems as that energy stream moves up. So if you are doing light column and you're doing that once a day, you're technically checking in at least once a day. Show the Covalite again. It's the Covalite. There's the Covalite. Still learning about the chakra, something new all the time. Yeah, and I will say included is one of the courses with the Stronger Together is the Chakra 101. So if you're new to it, that's a really good place to start. But I also added the Chakra Revisitation and the Chakra Development for Children's course as well. So all of those courses that I just mentioned are actually included with your Stronger Together membership. So if that's something you're interested in learning, along with having that one-on-one help and guidance from Janessa and I twice a month, that's going to be the place for you to really start. And really, for only $99, that is a steal. And you can cancel at any time. It's not something that you are committed to continue. So there's always options with that as well. All right, let's go ahead and start this chakra journey practice. So first, I want you to think about something that is kind of a pain point for you. If that is, could be anything. It could be your communication or way you do business with your boss. It could be relationship issue. It could be not speaking your own truth, like having a whole lot to say but not saying any of it. It could be having something tangible be an issue, like being able to get a loan for a house. Could be interference with finances. I want you to think about a pain point that you're currently experiencing, or something that you would like to be different than what it currently is. Would like it to be a little bit more fluid, a little bit easier. And then once you have that in your mind, go ahead and drop in the chat that you know what you're working on. So once you have that item in mind, drop in the chat that you have your topic. You have your topic that you're going to assess. And then we're going to see if the chakras are working with you or where the imbalance is. All right, I've got 2 of you. Yvonne, welcome. We're starting the journey part, Yvonne, so I think you just joined us. Get a topic in mind that you would like to be different. So a pain point could be relationship concerns, could be a financial concern, could be career, work related. So get a topic that you want to work on. And when you have it, I want you to drop it in the chat that you know what you are working on. Give you just a moment, and then we're going to move forward. Janessa's ready. All right. So first we're starting with our root chakra, which is right at the base of the pelvis. And when you're thinking about that pain point, I want you to ask yourself cognitively, consciously, what do I have? I have what? with that pain point in mind, think about whatever comes to your mind. The first thing that comes to your mind, the first feeling, that's the answer. What do you have? If you're comfortable, drop it in the chat. In a couple of the individual sessions, some of the items that came up with this were, I have joy, I have not enough. There you go. Shannon, you got yours. Good job. And you can always muscle test or pendulum to make sure that it is back checking if you'd like to. It can be positive or negative, but whatever comes to mind, I want you just to put it there. Good job, Yvonne. All right, now we're going to move up to the sacral chakra. And I want you to think about, when you're focusing on that pain point, I feel. What do you feel? What do you feel? In one of the individual sessions, one thing that came up with this was I feel nothing. Others were supported, loved, sadness, sorrow, relief, guilt, shame. Feel just about anything. Great job. We're just assessing the chakras to see where the imbalances are and where the balances are. Good job, you guys. It's a pretty vulnerable space, so I congratulate you guys for being brave and working through this. I promise you it will cause a shift by being this open. Now let's move up to the solar plexus. I can. What can you do? Some examples that came up were I can cry, I can have compassion, I can move forward, I can create anything. Great job, Yvonne. Joni, right now we're just assessing the chakras. I see you bounce in here. While you guys are working on the solar plexus, keep thinking about those I cans. The first one, Joni, is pick a pain point, a topic, relationship, money, financial, career, whatever it is. Just pick a pain point. And then we're going to move up the chakras and cognitively assess them. So the first one, Joni, would be I have, and I can drop this in the chat and pin it. So first, pick a pain point. Second, we would do the root, which is I have. So you would think of the first thing that comes to your mind. What do you have? Sacral chakra was I feel. Fourth one, we'll move up to that. We're currently on I feel. And then we moved up to I can is where we are with the solar plexus. Great job, Janessa. Great job, you guys, with these. So now we're going to move up to the heart chakra. What do you love? I love. What do you love? Good job, Yvonne. Great job, Janessa. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't overthink it, you head points, just feel it and let it be. Great job. All right, and now we're going to move up to the throat. I speak. What do you have to say? I speak. Great job, Joni. I speak. What do you have to say? And for all of you stronger together people, I will record this and I'll put it in the Chakra 101 course as well so that you guys have this and can come back to it at any time as well. So I'm going to record this exercise because I'm in love with it. I hope you guys see a lot from it too. Good job, Joni. Good job, Shannon. Alexis, welcome. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and move up to the third eye. I see. What do you see? And I want you to focus on what do you see in the present first. What do you see present right now? Good job, Yvonne. What do you see in the present? Okay, good job, you guys. For all of you joining new, pick a pain point. Kind of have that in your mind, something where there's a struggle. It could be a relationship, career, or whatever. And we're just going to cognitively assess the chakras with this new practice. We're on the third eye right now, and I want you, when you're thinking about that pain point, what do you currently see in the present? First thing that comes to your mind. Great job, guys. See it dropping in there. And now, what do you see in the future? We're still in the third eye area. But what do you see in the future? And anybody who's joining for the Ask Me questions, you're welcome to drop them in the chat, and I'll make sure to get back to them too. So if you had questions, you're still welcome to drop them in here. Ooh, I like that one. Widening of the horizon. Yes. Gentleness, prosperity, and happiness. Good job. All right, and now let's move up to that crown chakra right at the top of our head. What do you know? I know. What do you know? What do you know? Ooh, that's powerful. Good job, Janessa. Yes, Shannon, good job. It's definitely beauty in all imperfections. Now we're moving up to those transpersonal chakras. It's about 6 inches above your head. First transpersonal chakra. What does that source, that universal, that God energy, the love, whatever you call that, what does source want you to know? When you're thinking about that pain point, what does source want you to know about it? Great job, Yvonne. What does source want you to know? What does that God energy want you to know? Whatever you name that universal love energy, what does that energy want you to know? I am perfect. Such Enneagram 1 thinking. I love it. I'm here for it. True to yourself. What does source want you to know? You guys who are getting emotional with this one, it's okay. I often get emotional when we get up into these transpersonal chakras as well, just because that vibration is so much higher than what's within the physical body. So completely normal. Good job. Now we're going to move to that second transpersonal chakra, so about 1 foot above your head. What does source want you to feel? What is that God energy, that universal energy, great spirit, whatever you call that? What does source want you to feel? It's funny, Shannon, I read it, it was worthy, even though it's not typed that first. I knew what you were meaning. Good job. Now we're going to go one more transpersonal chakra that you guys probably don't hear me talk about a lot, but it's the Great Sun. It's almost 6 feet above your head. What does Source want you to be? Good job, Yvonne. You're doing great with this. What does Source want you to be? Good job, Joni. Good job, Shannon. Yes. Love it. Great job. So now we have the whole chakra spectrum. I didn't do the Earth Star because it's usually pretty grounded energy, and I haven't seen an imbalance in that didn't display in the other chakras. So we've got root all the way up to those third transpersonals up there that I included as well. I want you to just look at those if you were writing them down or even at your chat as well. This is something I've been doing almost daily whenever there is a pain point. Any of those that are of lower vibration, you'll see them right away, right? Like if you start seeing, like, let me scroll back up here to the beginning. Like one I see right away is I feel numb. And then I see a couple like I feel unsupported, I feel insecure. That was the sacral chakra, right? So you know immediately that there is an imbalance around this topic within the sacral chakra. So anything that is a lower vibrational, not a uplifting thought, that's how you know immediately that around whatever that issue or pain point is, that's where the imbalance resides, in that chakra. And then if you see the ones, that are of higher vibration, so like when we got to I see, the first ones I see are, I see connection, I see widening of the horizon, I see gentleness, prosperity, happiness. That is a balance within the third eye. So you know that the pain point isn't a pain point because of the third eye. But if you shift the energy in the ones that are lower vibrational, like that sacral chakra was one that I think almost everybody, if not everybody, had an imbalance within, you know immediately where the pain point is. And then if any of you guys have really been following me too much, like we have a lot of options to clean up imbalances, right? If you're following Janessa, you're seeing a ton of options. Tapping would be one. That's with Janessa. Janessa has an amazing YouTube tutorial on tapping. She also has tapping within the Stronger Together coaching community that's even more in-depth and all-encompassing. You could tap to bring that sacral chakra into balance, to release it. That's one option. Crystal healing, of course. You could go to any, of the sacral chakra stones, anything orange, reddish colored to balance that out. You could also go with the shamanic earth medicine. I know a lot of you have drums that are in here. Drumming to bring that sacral chakra back into balance is a great way. Any of the journeys, any of the energy medicine, like the universal love, that universal streams of grace, the personal streams of grace. Any of that God spot work and just asking, for universal streams to come in and balance. There are so many ways to balance these things out, but this is the best practice that I've seen so far in how to marry the cognitive, what's going on, with intuition and see it from a tangible perspective when you're looking at the whole scope, to see where are those pain points and what obstacles within my being are keeping them there. Where's the imbalance? Which chakra is it? And then let's work that specific chakra. So now I don't want to leave you guys hanging, right? Nobody wants to sit in this. Let's shift it. So first, I want you to take a big deep breath in and exhale slowly. And then I want you to go ahead and go right into the center of your heart. Really sit in that God spot energy. Right in the center of that heart chakra. Now I want you to go ahead and affirm your own spirit, that higher self energy, who you truly are. And I want you to affirm all of your helping spirits, ancestors, angels, spirit guides, whatever those positive helping spirits are, whether they be fairies, aliens, whatever is your vibe. Affirm all of those positive helping spirits. And then finally, I want you to affirm that greater, that source energy, the greater spirit, God energy, universe, whatever you call that energy. Affirm that unconditional love energy. Good job, you guys. And you feel that like release almost of your shoulders drop, that lightening. It's easier to breathe. You just feel supported. Now we're going to go ahead and ask that universal streams of grace come in and balance any of those chakras that are in imbalance around this topic. We're going to bring them into harmony. Universal streams continue to work for you. They never stop working. They're continuous and infinite. It's going to ask them to come in and clean up any of those imbalances. And then finally, we're going to ask that one or as many personal streams, your very own personal streams, be activated to not only clean up any imbalances, but also to keep them in balance and harmony going forward, so you don't re-experience the same trauma, the same pain, or obstacle within the same situation. Just going to ask that those personal streams activate to remove any ancestral energy with this, any past life energy, and release any trauma energy and trapped selves that have been stored because of this experience. We're also going to ask that one or as many personal streams are activated to keep each of your energetic boundaries at 100% in balance and in harmony, to both protect what you don't want to experience, protect you from what you don't want to experience, and attract everything that you do want to have in your life. All of that harmony, love, compassion, grace, joy, peace, happiness. I want those boundaries bringing in all of those higher vibrational emotions and feelings and experiences. Take another nice deep breath in. And exhale slowly. When you're ready, you can come back to this here and now. Take another deep breath in. Just let that release completely happen. And now that you've cleaned up this energy, I want you to go back and do the exercise again with the same topic. So you guys have homework. I want you to go back and do this again with the same pain point in mind, and I want you to compare the differences in what those chakras will have to say to you now. Because it's always, and every single time that I've done this, even with myself, they change. And the impact of what they have to say is phenomenal and astronomical when you go back and do it once you have balanced on it. So go back and do that, and then if you feel inclined, drop in the chat and let me know how that goes as well. This, of course, will be up in Stronger Together, so you can wait to rewatch it when I post it, or if you took notes on it, you can move through each one. All of you Stronger Together people, I'm going to get this up as an exercise within Stronger Together tonight, so by tomorrow, you will be able to actually go back and do it within that in a very tailored fashion as well, and it's going to be in the Chakra 101 course. So anybody who wants access to this, it will be in that Chakra 101 course by tomorrow. So with that, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask? Yeah, Janessa, I bet everybody has learnings to collect. This is my favorite new exercise. So definitely collect those learnings. Can muscle test or pendulum to see how many you have, and then collect them. How's everybody doing? Are we good? Do we feel good? I've never had anyone feel worse after doing this. So, but there is a first time for everything, and do not be shy if that is the case. We don't have to sit and struggle. 5 for Joni. Nice. Any questions you guys have? This was an Ask Me Anything too, and I only got asked, I think, 1 question. Good, Yvonne. I'm glad. Glad there was relief with that. Do you guys have any questions before I bounce off of here? Give you just a few moments. Not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and let you all go. The next Stronger Together coaching call is next Thursday, so the 8th, and then we will also have one on the 19th. So this month with the holiday, we moved the second Thursday call to the 19th, which is that Monday, so make sure you have that on your calendars correctly for anybody in that coaching community. There's also always still time to sign up for that community as well. So I'll make sure that I drop that link in here too. So if you're interested in signing up, if that coaching community is drawing you in, then we will be there for you to support you as well. And plenty of techniques like this, along with, I don't even know how many lives are in there at this point, but a lot. That is really where that one-on-one guidance comes into play. So that's the place to be if you like information like this, but times about 100, because Janessa's in there with me working at the same time. So you're really getting a collective of over 6 modalities working for you, and working for you on items that are really pain points in the here and now in your life as well. So very, very tailored to each individual that is advocating for themselves within that group and showing up to be the best version that they can possibly be. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Tomorrow is Friday, so we're heading into that weekend, which I can't wait for. But universal blessings, everybody, and thank you so much for sharing your time and space with me.